Okay, thank you very much, everybody, for coming here today with this weather. And for those who are in front of your computer screen at home, hi, everybody. So, okay, today's topic is very packed. Okay, these are all what we are going to talk: long residence, the new home rebate, and the tax on the assignment, and also tax on give you evaluate your property. And also some tax planning tips for you guys, okay? Okay, without further ado, let's go down to that. Why we need to talk about long residence? Okay, who have you have handled any long residence buyer? Okay, one, two, only two? Okay, actually, the long residence are a very important market, despite the long residence speculation tax, right? 辣椒税. I think it's still a very important market. There are a lot of people, immigrant, citizens, they went back to China and Hong Kong, and those people, they cannot afford the high real estate price over there. So, and then they also intend to come back here to live. So many of them, they will buy in advance, okay, and invest the money they earn and invest back into Toronto. So this is a very big market. And I know actually some real estate developer, they actually going to visit Shanghai, Beijing, Hong Kong to sell their condominium unit over there. So you should be more aware of this long resident tax, okay, in order to serve your long resident client, okay. The NRST 辣椒税 is not a problem for citizen or permanent resident, okay, yeah. They are long resident for tax purpose, but for the NRST, they are not subjected to the NRST, okay? Because the NRST define the tax subject as foreign national, okay? It's not resident, okay? Although the tax is called long resident speculation tax, they tax on the foreign national. So those with Canadian passport are not affected, okay? Now, if you want to handle the long residents, when they buy, usually, before they coming back to live here, they will rent out their property. So when they rent out the property, you have to, because it's also expensive to consult accountant, right? So you as a real estate professional should be able to explain some of the tax idea to them, okay, if they ask you, okay, so to make you more professional. And for the tax, for the long resident on the rental income, basically, they are under the Section 216 and also Section 116, okay, of the Income Tax Act. I will go down into more detail later, more slide. And also, our long residents are also subject to some tax on the interest, on the dividend, okay. And also, we need to consider their tax treaty, okay. So most of the citizens or PR, when they go back to China or Hong Kong to live, they can declare their long residence. Okay, usually that's not a big problem. Okay, even that they leave their house over here empty, it's not a big problem, as long as they physically live in China and Hong Kong. Okay, so actually it's better if they leave their house or apartment here, they should rent it out. So if they rent it out, they ask you to rent it out, you should also tell them to ask accountant to do the long resident tax. Okay, so actually in the first year of the departure for that client, okay, there will be 2 tax returns for that year. Say for example, you have a client left Toronto last year during 2018, and then after he left, he rent out the apartment. So there will be 2 tax returns for him. One is the regular tax return for declaring his long residency. Say, for example, he left August 31st. So January 1st to August 31st will be 1 tax return. And then from September 1st to December 31st is another tax return under Section 216, okay? And then from then on, every year need to file a Section 216 tax return. So even though he's a long resident, he does not need to pay Canadian tax. The rental income still need to pay, okay? If the client, if you happen to have a client who is not a citizen or PR, okay, we need to apply for him something called individual tax number, okay, individual tax number. And those clients who are citizen or PR, they still can use their social insurance numbers for their non-resident tax, okay? And then we also need to open their withholding tax account and submit NR6 and pay the 25% and NR4. You see, this is lots of work, okay? Yeah. Basically, only one idea. Just tell your client to ask the accountant, okay? Basically, if the client, okay, does not do anything, the tax will be 25% on the gross rent. So if the apartment's rent for $2,000 per month, the tax will be $500 per month. Okay, yeah, and some client, okay, if they want to reduce the tax, we can do something more for them. It's called NR6. Okay, NR6 is we need to submit some projection to the CRA to say, okay, the $2,000 we need to deduct the property tax, we need to pay a management fee. Say, for example, after all this, the net profit is only, say, $800, not $2,000. So we'll be 25% on the $800. So instead of paying $500 upfront, it can be reduced to $200, okay? So after paying the tax, we need to prepare NR4, just like you guys receive a T4A or T4, okay? And then we also need, we need to do the 216 tax return. The 216 tax return, okay, is due by June 30. And say, for example, the kind that I mentioned before, we pay upfront, say, for the $200. Say he only rented out for 10 months, so he already prepaid $2,000. However, maybe he done some repair, some more repair, or some more, also maybe pay a commission to you, 1 month. So the net profit is not $800 a month. So he paid too much. Then on filing the tax, government will reduce to them, okay? Or instead, maybe instead of projecting for 10 months rental, he actually rent out 12 months, so he made more money. Then we'll need to pay more tax, okay? And the June 30 deadline is very important because if you have an NR6, you reduce the tax already. If you don't file by the deadline, the entirely 25% on the gross rent will become due, okay? So the deadline is critical. Then, if the client want to sell, what happened? Okay, actually, you may encounter some clients who are non-resident when they sell. Okay, so or maybe a client asks you to buy, rent, and then 2 years later ask you to sell. So you also need to know what happened at the sale. Okay, when you sell, there will the section will be 116. Remember before I said 216 and 116. So under section 116, the clients must do something called a tax clearance, and you cannot escape from it because in Canada, you know that, right? Any real estate transfer must go through a lawyer. So the lawyer will see, oh, this client is a non-resident. Ask your accountant to do tax clearance. Okay, so you cannot escape. Say, for example, the client I said before didn't file any tax. And I said the tax will be 25% on the gross rent, right? So if the client didn't file for that 2 years, and then after 2 years, he sell. So that will be caught at that time. Okay, so in addition to do the tax clearance for the sale, we also need to back file all the missing 2 years. Okay, and the missing 2 years will be 25% on the gross rent. Okay, if some of the rental years past 2 years due. Okay, you cannot pay on the lag basis. Okay. Yeah, sure.
Like, can you tell, like, is there any, like, for example, if the owner owns the house, when that time, maybe she is residence here, right? But she just changed it when she want to sell it. So what time should be verified if she is non-resident or
Okay, good question. The Section 116 is used at the time of the sale based on the client's tax residency. Okay, regardless of when the house was bought. So for this, I make an example. So if a client bought a house, say, in 2015, and he left the country, say, 2018, and then later on, maybe he sell the house 2020.
No, it's actually the two cases. She bought 3 years ago, and in next month she needed back to China and change it to be non-resident. And at the same time.
So you owned the house only for 3 months and then left?
3 years.
3 years. Okay, 3 years.
3 years.
Oh, 3 years. Okay. Okay. Say this client. Yeah, I know. So this client, when he or she sell the house now, if she is already declared non-residence.
Not yet.
Not yet. She want to, right? Yeah. It's better to sell the house when she is still a resident. Otherwise, we'll be subject to the Section 116. Okay? Yeah. And especially because some client, they left the country, say, a few years, they haven't sold the house, but they sell now. But during these past few years, he haven't declared non-residence. But the lawyer may ask hard question to them. The lawyer may say, well, you are not here for the whole year. How come you are a resident? So, because all the lawyer is very careful now, because the tax is 25% on the selling price. So if the house is $1 million, the tax is $250,000. And this is the lawyer's duty, because if the tax is not paid, it's paid by the lawyer.
On the selling price?
Yeah, 25% on the selling price. Okay. If anything's wrong, CRA come down to the file. Okay, the tax will be due actually on the purchaser, not the buyer, not the seller, on the buyer, on the purchaser. Okay, 25% of the selling price. And since everybody use a lawyer to close, the buyer will bring the lawyer, why you didn't done enough due diligence about the status of the seller? Okay, because the seller is gone, non-resident, right? No, CRA cannot go after him, right? He's gone. So the tax law say the tax liability is on the buyer because the buyer is still here, right? So that's why all the lawyers now these days are very careful now. Okay, they will inquire about the status of the seller. So if the seller say use a POA, he or she is not always here, there will be a problem. Okay, the lawyer may not agree that he's a resident. So be careful about that. So when the seller is a non-resident, we will do some calculation. Okay, some part of that may be exempted as a principal resident. Some part of that will be taxed with a capital gain. Okay, and then we will apply for a certificate of compliance. We will pay the tax. Okay, basically, it's 25% of the capital gain, but the withholding is 25% of the selling price. So, say for example, for this one, the lawyer will on close. It will not affect you. Okay, you as a real estate agent won't affect you. Closing will still happen. Okay, you will still get your commission. But the lawyer will withhold the $250,000, okay, pending for the accountant's job to clear. Okay, say for example for this client, maybe the profit is only $200,000. Okay, the capital gain is only $200,000. So CRA may issue the compliance with 25% of that capital gain, $50,000. So on that certificate, the lawyer will give the refund back to $200,000 back to the seller, and the $50,000 will go to CRA. Okay, done. And further on, the seller can file a tax return to get another 50% back, because capital gain usually is 50% exempted, but you have to do a tax return to get that 50% refund. Okay, so the client next year do a tax return will get $35,000 back. Okay, no problem. Easy.
Can I say a few words here?
Sure.
First of all, that lots of agents, when they take listing, they do not ask a question. That's the big mistake someone made. Someone is here today. So when you take listing in a condo or home, especially you need to use the form 820. When I was training in the past, I mentioned this form 820.
820.
820 basically is a form that to check the title, check the physical condition, check the property from top to the bottom. So you go through the list. If you go through the list once a year, once a month, within 10 times, you will know, you won't omit anything. So when you go to sign the listing agreement, you have to identify that who is the owner. Okay, I'm signing the contract. So you need to ask, say, oh, what's your name? Oh, my name is Tony Ma. And I have your driver's license. You verify with the ID, with the deed. The deed says it's a different amount. So that means this guy may not be the real owner. Secondly, you need to ask a question. What's the status? Are you a land immigrant? Are you a citizen? Are you a... There's no problem to ask such a question. If you forgot to ask, then it's no problem. Third is, Kenny said there's no problem for you to get a closing, but if someone bought the property and have a big mortgage, you wouldn't have a big problem. Let's say someone bought the house 3 years ago for the 1.5 million. Today he only sell 1.3 million. There's a mortgage about 800,000. 你有没有听过？以前有一个说法叫做毛泽东讲无产阶级，邓小平讲资产阶级，董建华叫做负资产阶级。Right? 所以 when that time happens, then there's no money payable, receivable by the seller, who will pay the 25% of the price. So there's no way for you to close on time. So be very careful. So if you ask a question, I always say you do not need to be a licensed accountant, licensed home inspector, or licensed lawyer. But such a question, just ask. When you ask a question, you say, hey, Mr. Seller, are you I know that you are such young, your parents not here, are you a student, what's the status of you? Then you will prevent such issue to happen on closing day.
So sometimes they don't know the language law not right, we should use them to check with the accountant.
No, they shouldn't.
Sometimes maybe somebody they don't know themselves.
No, just Kenny already said, let's say I plan to go to work in Beijing from August 2019, right? The best advice you should take is that you immediately declare you are non-resident, because you do not want to pay double tax. And you do not want to lie to government to tax say, oh, I still live in Toronto, my house is still lived by me. You do not physically here, right?
Also, the international students that came to Toronto to learn, they pay tax still every year.
Okay, good question.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Tony. Yes. And yes, so if the client has big mortgage and also at the same time need to pay 25% of the selling price, that may become a problem. Okay, and about international student, my office also handle a lot of international students selling their house. So international students are residents. However, because they are a lot of PR, so a lot of the lawyer will ask them to go to the accountant to get opinion. Okay, so in my experience, usually we will submit just as normal of this tax clearance application, and then we'll state the fact that this is a student. Okay, he's a resident, and then usually CRA will issue a letter saying that no need for withholding tax. Okay. However, today's CRA is more strict. It will depend whether the student has filed any income tax return. Also, we need to enter a lot of forms, say NR73, NR74 for residents and non-residents. Okay, so before is straightforward. But now CLA require more work to do. Okay, but still it's possible for international students to get exempted for the withholding tax. Okay, as a principal resident for the house that they own.
Even work permit, some people in
Yes, well, yeah, work permit also. Okay, anybody who are in Canada for over 183 days for that year is deemed as a resident. So including work permit, anybody. Okay.
Yes, for that form 820, you have the seller to sign or
No.
just to fill it?
You just go through the list. You do not need a seller to sign. No initial, no signature.
Just to fill it?
Yeah.
You
Just to help you to go through every list. Who is the owner? Do you have a wife? Do you have a spouse? Those questions to prevent the problem. Yeah.
Here, I asked him for this question, and he filled this form. Like if I say, yeah, I'm resident, and he's
It's
not
a very
resident.
good question, but I will tell you very strict. If I go to the seller and say, hey, Mr. Seller, this is your form, fill in. That's the wrong way to conduct business because you did not perform your due diligence. In the banking system, they have also something called KYC, know your client. Same thing with real estate agent. You have to go through the line by line with the seller. How long you will have you live here? Is this a house old tank? Have old tank before? What's the service of electrical? Is grow marijuana before? You go through the question, you check.
Everything.
Because there's no need for the seller to sign, there's no responsibility on the seller or on you. But at least show that you have go through the question, the seller answer your question. Okay? Let's say seller lie, I'm the seller, and then the house was the grow house before I bought over. The seller lied here, okay? You have no liability. You are not a licensed policeman.
幾個？
Okay,
三個
no
啦。
more than that. You are not
Huh?
you are licensed
Look,
policeman,
okay.
so you're okay as long as you go to the list. You have done your job. So by the way, we hired an insurance company to do a training for real estate agent only on February 12th, which will be here. The real estate insurance company is they do your E&O. Okay? Rico insurance. The reason for that, you pay $440 every year for what? That means whenever you have a problem, everything knows, that if you made some mistake, someone claimed damage, financial loss from you, that loss was caused by your error and omission. Then they will cover you. They covered up to $100,000. One of our office agents bought a house with oil tank. The buyer claimed him for $450,000. To cut the long story short, we settled with the buyer. The insurance paid the buyer for $99,000. Our agent paid $2,500 from his pocket deductible. So I want you all come in to learn to go through the seminar, the insurance lawyers and adjusters on February 12th. You will learn everything you need to know for real estate. For the 820 that the form is just like a precaution for everyone else. Okay, once again, as long as you do your job, you are not responsible for that thing. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Right.
good. Yeah, it's very important to know your client. So next one is give you a lot of you help your client to buy 屋花、樓花 any pre-sale, and then when they come to closing, okay, do you know there's something called new home HST rebate? Anybody know what is that rebate for? What is the amount? Actually, I have I introduced this is my office manager and my wife Sherry, and she bought 6 souvenir here. Everybody answer a question, then we can have a gift. Okay. Anybody can tell me what is new home rebate? Why is there and the amount? Oh, okay. Here, this first. $750. Okay, wrong. You? What is the amount for the usually these days new home rebate?
The buyer.
The bank?
The buyer.
The buyer, yeah. The buyer have what how much rebate? Maximum.
The maximum is
Okay, behind. Right.
10% of
Huh? No.
13%.
Okay. $24,000. Never mind. $24,000. Okay. Actually, the $24,000 happened after, I think it's 2010. There's a reform. What's that reform? It's called the Ontario Tax Reform for HST. Remember, we have the 8% PST and the 5% GST before, and then in year 2010, it's combined together as 13%. Okay? So, all the new house will be subject to the HST instead of GST. So, it seems more expensive because a $100,000 house will sell for $113,000 instead of $150,000. Big difference. However, because the builder can get refund of their HST better, it is because before a lot of the material, the 8%, they cannot get refund. So with the combination, we call it harmonizations, the 8% cost to the builder are being refunded. So the cost of building the house are lower. Okay, so when they sell a house, it mark up for another 13%. That to the government calculation should be neutral. Okay. However, to help people's any objections, the government create also a rebate. Just like before, the GST also have a rebate, but the GST rebate when the house is over $450,000, zero. But for this one, when the house is over $400,000, is a set 24%. The 24% actually is the 75% of the PST pay and up to $400,000. Okay, so usually the price now is over that. So that's why mostly $24,000. Okay, so the builder, when the builder sell a new property, the builder actually getting 就是到手價 okay, builder 到手價 the builder getting not that same money. Okay, so if a condo is $1 million, the builder will get how much? Easy. You can just do $1 million plus $24,000 divided by 1.13. Okay, yeah. So that usually because the $24,000 is assigned back to the buyer. So the government, but this is a qualification. The buyer must use that home, that property as their primary residence. Okay, and make no mistake, government now check every single one, because when the buyer enter the form of the rebate on closing, government collect all this, and then they have their staff calling. Okay, the client. So if there's no phone call, they will issue a letter. If there's no reply to the letter, they will send an assessment notice, say, give me back $24,000. Okay, so because the $24,000 is a big amount, so the government now check very closely. So any problem for that? Anybody can answer the first one? Apparently, what is the first problem for having a problem with the new home rebate?
Investment or principal.
What's the purpose of it?
Okay, you can have a price. Yeah. So she's close because she said you're not buying the house for residence, it's turning into investment. So the first one actually is not moving in, right? Because if you're an investment, you're not going to move in there, right? What's the second one? Not answering phone call. What's the third one? Not changing address. A lot of people, they haven't changed their address when they after they came this as their primary residence. I have to use primary residence is different from the Income Tax Act principal residence. Okay, I will tell you more down below. How about this? Yeah, a lot of clients, okay, they have two houses. Now they close one house, but the other house they say, okay, the price is now done. Let's wait for 1 more year to wait for the price up to sell. So at the same time, we have two houses. Then the CRA will also have a question about which one is your primary one. Because for the rebate, primary means that you have to actually live there. It's different from principal residence. Principal for tax, you can designate which one is your best principal residence.
In this case, you can't like you live in the one house and the son live in the other one.
Yeah, son is okay. We'll tell you more down below. Not the first one to move in. So if you have, say, a friend living there, you move in later, that is also a problem. Change of intention. As you answered that before, you change it to investment, you rent it out, but you still carrying the new home rebate.
But when you rent it out, you can still get it back.
Yeah, but two different programs. Two different programs. So on closing, you have to pay the $34,000, and then you apply it back under the rental program.
Yeah, so I think they're very similar amounts, right? So why,
Same amount. Everything is the same.
why people prefer this one?
You still have to take out
similar,
24,000.
A lot of people for convenience, okay? Yeah, and a lot of people, I have recently, one client give me a reason. The client tell the bank that this is his new residence. So he cannot, actually he wanted to be a rental property, okay? So on closing, when he sold the bank document, he cannot pay the $24,000, say this is rental, okay? But then he thought that he can go by. Now, after a year, he got a letter from CRA, asked him about to get back this $24,000 because he's not actually moving in. Yeah, so it's very important to document your evidence for the new home rebate, okay? And usually they will ask you for this document, the transfer, 樓花 agreement of purchase and sell, 樓花合同 first 3 pages or any key signature page, statement of adjustment, at least 3 documents to show taking up the principal. So can you tell me what are 3 documents to show? Hi. Yes, you have a price, okay. Yeah, so yeah, driver license. So then statement. How about your employer's pay statement, credit card, phone bill, moving company receipt, buying furniture. But utility bill are not good. Property tax statement are not good. You know why? Because CRA say these receipt, like your hydro bill, your gas bill, are attached to the house. Every house, every property has it. So it's not approved that you live there. However, I still ask the client to give me. You know why? I just recently done an appeal case, and the client has 2 houses. So I submitted 2 houses utility bill to show to the CRA. This house has more usage. This house is empty, no usage. So the client actually live in the other house. So the purpose is different, but if you only just provide the utility bill, is not enough. Okay?
You can't keep the owner can't pay all that utility under his name, but still he can rent it like he told him.
Yeah, right. That's why they don't CRA don't accept the utility bill.
But did CRA go to the unit and see who's ready?
Oh no, they won't. They won't go there.
This is the kind of
Another common problem I want to tell you more is a lot of people at the final moment of the closing, they will ask the lawyer to change the title. They'll say, okay, put my wife's name on it. But the APS signed by him. Or maybe ask to the lawyer say, put a joint name. So the name the title on the APS is different from the transfer. Okay? So there will be also a problem. Okay?
This is gonna do it before the closing, like changing the name, or before finish everything before you...
No, all I mean is at the final moment, somebody give a direction of title to the lawyer, say, for the transfer, put whoever on the title, on the transfer.
Will the lawyer agree?
Lawyer will take your direction.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's what I said. The lawyer agreed to put the name, or they say, no, it's under your name, you have to keep it under him.
Yeah, but the lawyer does not know about the problem later on with new home rebate. Okay? Because the lawyer say, oh, you want to put John name? Okay, fine. Right? But the lawyer doesn't know that the APA is only one name. How come? Yeah, because, CRA is very bureaucratic. They go word by word, rule by rule. Okay? No leeway.
So you adding a name is
Not good. Unless you do something called assignment or amendment of the APS. So, in addition to the direction, you have to go back to the builder to do an amendment of the APS to change from this name to these two names, okay? Okay, like you're not keeping the documentary evidence before on the last slide. And delay in moving in also has a problem. I have a client move in a year and a half later. So I did the appeal for him and I won the case, but it's a big battle, okay? So don't delay too much of your moving in, okay, unless you have good reason. So for that kind, I wrote 2 pages about the reason why it's not moving in. Okay?
For the closing, close to final closing, if the people for the property and then they change the name to other party, right? The CIA believe they will just change the name without getting money.
So first of all, CRA for this they are also bureaucratic. They will only deal with the new home rebate. They won't ask questions about whether there is any assignment, whether there is any of course you have to be reasonable. So if on the APA is Mr. A, but on the transfer is B and C, okay, entirely different. It's no relationship, not husband and wife, not son, father and son. Okay, not auntie and nephew. That I think there may be, but I haven't encountered this one. Okay, usually the problem is only be among the family when they change the name on the title.
I have one question. So what if I moved in, but I feel it's very difficult for me to work, to travel, so I decide to maybe live in another house for like 3-4 days and living in this new one in like only weekend or...
You document your days because is what you said is primary residence. Yeah. So if you say you Monday to Friday you live in a house for closer to work, but weekend you're using this one, actually that's not enough. Because in terms of time, the new house is less.
Yeah, but who's gonna approve that? Like if all my billing is in go to the another address and my travel license in another address,
So if you have good documentation for other one, like bank statement, your employer's pay stub, okay, yeah, I think we still be okay. Because only when you have problem for the appeal, then we need to have more documentations. But if you answer the phone call, if you answer the letter right up front, usually no problem. Remember, I first say, no, don't answer phone call and not answer letters. Okay, there will be a problem. Okay.
Will there be a problem of a delay moving for the rental? For example, is there any limitation if it is after 1 year, it's not a new house?
Okay, for rental, rebate, if you leave the house for or apartment for 1 year and then you rent it out, if you apply for the rental rebate, CRA will question whether this is the first one. Do you live in there for the first few months before you rent it out? Or any other body live in there? Okay.
For the rental.
Actually, they won't believe that because given the rental market, right? These days, it's hard to say that you cannot find a tenant in 12 months, right, Tony?
I have one comment and one question. One comment is, Kenny is my contact for this actually debate. He doesn't want to make it, but I want to make it. I have one property, and I learned this technique from my previous company, my mentor from Homeland Kenny Wan. There's a lot of agents out there saying that, you transfer your telephone bill, you just put anything there to prove you live there. I made one mistake. I paid a big fine for this actually rebate, and also the capital gain. So, as a professional agent, as long as you have or work in Homeland Landmark, I want to tell you that please tell your client, if it's rental, claim rental. Okay? If you physically live there, you claim self-residence. Try not to play around with the CRA. You know why? CRA have lots of spies. Seriously, they hire lots of technician people. They even similar with the Chinese, as they want to report, they give the reporter something a work. So don't play with that. I pay the fine myself. Okay, so this is worth the money. And also some agent, and I learned this from a Taiwan agent from New World. They say just say your son lives there, you have a telephone bill there, you change your service charge. That's not worth the effort. End of the day, if you rent it out, you're going to get the same amount of rebate back anyways, right? I have a question is that, the two questions. One is, you said, if I'm selling my property today, but the market is so bad, so I'm already moving a new home, so I have two existing homes. How long this situation can last before I can say that both homes are my prime residence or principal residence?
Okay.
Have to be capital gain.
When you have a client have two properties, so first of all, the new one, you have to move in there, okay, use it as a primary residence. The old one, okay, you can leave it empty to wait for the market turn, okay? And when you sell the second one, sell the old one, okay, you can claim principal residence. We can do some calculation to select which house has the best tax for you. Okay, so usually if you still own the old house for 1 or 2 years, it's not a very big problem because there's when we calculate the principal residence capital gain, there's something called a +1 formula. That will be some advantage over there. But if you're keeping two houses for longer than 2 years, at least probably you have to pay 1 year's capital gain, okay, on the old house. Okay.
Second question is, there is a new home. People always ask me that
when to sell the new one.
That I close the new home, and then how long is if I sell it? Does not trigger CRA audit that this is.
The best is to sell it after 2 years, I would say. Even selling 1 year maybe still okay, but if you sell below 1 year, if you are caught by the CRA, there will be a big problem because not only I will come down to that later on an assignment. Okay, you will need to pay the profit and also a GST on it too.
Sorry, for the second home, when you say it's the old home, you sell the old home, you have to pay capital gain.
Yeah, right. Because you are not full year in there as a principal resident. You cannot claim two principal residents at the same time.
So when you move to the new one,
yeah,
you sold the old one, you pay capital gain.
Yeah, but not entirely. Okay, depend on the number of years. So if you own the old home for 10 years, yes, you only miss 1 year, probably only 1/10. Okay, of the capital gain may be taxed. Okay. Yeah, not they won't tax you for all the years.
No, it's not confused. Let me use my language to explain. Let's say I live number 1, okay, and then next month I'm going to move to number 10. Okay, so number 10 is the new house. Number 1 is my old house. Okay. my old house number 1 should sell 1.5 million last year, 1.6 the previous year. But today is only I can sell 1.3. I'm not happy. I want to hold the property until I can sell maybe 1.3, 1.4. Okay. So by next month I move to number 10. I move to number 10, and then I leave the previous old house like on the market, and then empty. Okay, that's fine. You hold there for a year or 2 years, like Kenny said, that's fine. As long as, because even within 2 years, if you make any profit, that means the market go up. You should get sold. If you do not make much profit, then you need to balance that. Should I put the sale? Should I rent out? The 2 years is the deadline.
Okay. Yeah, and I think another gentleman asked me about the relative, and yes, yeah, the new home rebate can also be okay if you have your relative close. The law says relations. So relation is defined as spouses, parents, grandparents, okay, and children, grandchildren. Okay, so if you have a house bought under your own name, but you have your son moving in there, that's still okay. But remember, your son also need to keep all this residential evidence, okay? Otherwise, also will be the same problem, okay? I have one kind bought a condominium in downtown Toronto for the son to attend U of T, but the new home rebate was denied. That is because his son didn't change anything. Driver license, bank statement, school record, okay? So the government does not believe that his son actually live in there, okay?
You're supposed to transfer the title under the son's name?
No.
No. It's codes under, yeah, it's possible. It's possible on closing, you amend the APS and have the chance, but still the same problem. If the son does not change any driver license, bank statements, still have a same problem. Yeah. Yeah. But actually, I got my clients back for that money. You know how? Yeah. You know how I got back that $24,000 for my client? Because I claimed the rental rebate for the client. So his son is his tenant. Okay, enough. Yeah, I think this is the question that Tony asked about what happens if you sell your new house. So you risk losing this. You cannot avoid the reporting, right? Because Minister of Finance November announcement say even you're selling your principal residence that's exempted from tax, you still need to report that. You may not be exempted from capital gain. You may be taxed on the entire profit. Okay. There may also be charged HST on it. I will show you why you will be charged for HST. Okay. And also 50% of penalty. Wow. So very careful when you sell your new house in a short time. Okay. Now, selling your new house in a short time or selling your APS is about the same effect. So I give you this worksheet. Okay. Anybody don't have one?
Quick question. So the previous slide, we talk about the selling new house and new home. That means after closing, right?
Yeah, after closing.
So we're talking about assignment now.
Assignments, same idea. So for assignment, this is an example here. Okay. So the client bought the Laohua APS at $500,000. So you help him to sell the APS, okay, before closing, $650. So on the book, he made $150,000. However, because he has deposit, right? So the deposit I assume here is $75,000. I think it's 15%. I assume that, okay? Actually, you will see the less deposit, the better, right? The higher deposit, the worse, okay? So the CRA will calculate HST based on the profit and the deposit together. So together is $250,000. You get back, you get from the buyer, right? So on the closing of the assignment, your client will get back $250,000, $235,000, right? The profit and the deposit. So that is why CRA charge HST on that. They call it total consideration. Okay, so because usually your offer say HST included, right? Yeah, that's why. So you have to bet out. In that $225,000, you bet out $25,884 for HST. But you don't need to pay the entire this amount to CRA. You can claim all the HST on the transaction. So I'll give you some example down below. Like for example, your commissions, HST, and any assignment fee to the builder, any legal fee. Okay. So I assume there may be $3,386 of input tax credit that you can claim on this HST. So HST to pay to the government will be $22,000. So the net gain to your client will be $96,000. I haven't finished here because your client also need to report this $96,000 profit on the tax return as profit, not capital gain. So depending on the marginal tax rate of your client, okay, if your client's marginal tax is 50%, you pay another half on it. So the entire deal, your client made only about maybe not even $50,000. So you can see here, on a deal, on the paper that made for the APS is $150,000, the client only left maybe about $50,000. So the tax is so high in Canada.
I'm confused myself. I'm not good at math. So where is the number coming from? $25,884. How do you calculate that amount?
That is 225,000 divided by 1.13 times 13%.
Okay, so divided by 225 divided by
225 times 13 divided by 1.13.
Because that is the answer. To use that time.
If you use 199,115 times 1.13 equal to 225.
So it's better to pay deposit less, like.
Yeah.
I think that it's better not to do assignment. Period.
But some client has no choice, want to sell assignment.
Yeah, because you didn't get too much money. Come on. It shows that you got $150,000 sure profit. But at the end of the day, you only get what, like half of it in the profit?
So 45,000 or so. 45. Then profit is tax bracket.
Right? Just makes the financial incentive for you to do the assignment. That's what I mean.
Okay, so assignment is very simple. Okay, so you now there's another issue here. Let's change topic. Okay, is a lot of people renovate their property to rent it out. Okay, so if you do renovation, you have to be careful whether that you're being caught for HST if you substantially renovate your property. So the keyword here is if the renovation is substantial, and then you may be deemed as a builder. So if you have a house, if you just buy a house, okay, you want to make it as a, they call it what? What home? There are a lot of apartments divided in the house. What do you call? What do they call it? Rooming house. Yeah, rooming house. Yeah. So if you buy a house and then you renovate to make a rooming house, you need to be careful. Okay. So if you have just some painting, that may be fine. So I will show you how CRA will define what is substantial here. If your renovation is substantial, you will need to pay HST on completion. So if you bought a house at $1 million, after your renovation, if the house is $1.5 million, you may need to pay 13% on that $1.5 million. Okay?
So you mean the total HST for the builder, 1.5 is the house value?
House value, and then you have to back out 13% inside the $1.5 million to pay to CRA.
How do they define that?
Okay, let's go down to first definition of substantial renovation. That is exactly what I copied from the text ad. You can read it. Okay. The key word here is all or substantially all. And then you are doing what? Remove, replace, okay? Alteration. Except for the foundation. Okay, and the roof and the wall. Okay, what it means is if you buy a property, okay, so you take down all the ceiling, you change all the carpet, you change everything. Okay, even some of the wall. Okay, because maybe the house or the property before has only 3 rooms. After your change, become 5 rooms. Okay, so you almost take down everything except for the steel case, except for the roof, except for the foundation. Then you may meet this definition.
What about basement?
Basement too. Yeah. You may ask me, so what happens if I just take down the whole house? Okay, take down the whole house. How is another question? Take down the whole house is construction. Construction is already must pay tax. No question about it. Okay? This is only for, like, if you don't take down the whole house and rebuild. Okay? Because some people think government has this thinking. Because some people may think, okay, I don't reconstruct, so that I don't need to pay the HST on the new value. So they will just do inside renovation. Okay? But if you do an inside renovation, the government CRA will review this to see if they will collect HST on you. Okay?
Oh, you mean like before renovation, CRA will review that your plan or something?
How, actually, touch wood is I haven't had any kind caught by this rule yet. Okay, yeah. Question?
Yeah, so I heard about this Ontario renovation grant. So is that something that the buyer or the person can get some of that to cover this? It's called Ontario renovation grant. It's like kind of like a grant from the government.
I think the Ontario renovation is something that is before, right? It's not for rental building, right?
They have something, it's still 2018, they still have that.
I think there is incentive for people. Oh, I remember that one. Before they have it for everybody, but now this is a different thing. The Ontario renovation credit is for the senior people. So if you have any senior at home, okay, and you done some little renovation, say changing some of the lock, say this lock is not good because it's hard for a senior to turn. So you change into the lock this open like this way, or you change your tile into non-slippery, okay, or you replace the bathtub to have a walk-in bathtub, okay. Those you can claim the renovation credit, but this is on your personal tax return. It's nothing to do with here, and that is not substantial. Okay. And also, I said why they want to charge you because they deem you as a builder. So I copy here. Actually, it's a full page. I only highlight A and D and F over here. Actually, there's A to H. So the one that is substantial renovation is being called by here. Okay, substantial renovation or construction. So when a builder construct a rental building, the builder need to self-assess for the HST. And that may be why you seldom see any rental building now these days. All the rental building now are very old. Have you seen any new rental building, Tony?
Yes.
New rental building?
New, oh, sorry, no.
Yeah, see? No. All the rental buildings were built in the 70s.
Right.
Okay? It's so stupid, right? So if you build a rental building and then you have to pay yourself some 13% HST to the government, right? So that's why over here, before I said HST being charged construction and substantial renovation. And why you need to pay HST for the assignment is because of D. Somebody acquire an interest. So when you enter APS, you have an interest in the complex that is not registered as a condominium. So if you sell, if you assign the APS, you're being called by D as a builder. So your client selling the APS is a builder. Okay, so interesting, right? This is tax rule. But anybody who is honest, who is just buying property for their own use, okay, don't worry, because here it said here, otherwise in the course of a business or adventure of in the regular day. So if that person is not in the business of buying and selling property, okay, it's not flipping. That is okay. Okay. So you can see all these technical rule. Those law actually this is not CRA. Those lawyers at the Department of Finance are very smart.
So still the same question, like, so how can owner they can protect themselves before renovation? They know if they are doing something.
So give you a home, you renovate a basement to rent out, not a problem. It's not substantial. And substantial, okay, I also need to explain. Substantial here, I said all or substantial, right? That means 90%. So CRA will calculate the square footage, how many square footage square footage that you renovate. So if it's not 90% of the entire property, it's still okay. So basement may be only 1/3 of your property. Okay. But if you renovate entire, more than 90%, there will be a problem. Okay?
So can you get away from that? Let's say if you do upstairs this year, next year you do the basement?
Very smart. I haven't thought about that. Okay, I remember that.
That's the first time I heard this.
Okay. Okay, let's back on here. Okay, so yeah, so here I said the implication is you have to put pay GST or HST on it, and you can also claim the rental property rebate, something like this. Okay, so I said about the definition of the builder, and this is some guideline you can read on the CRA website. Okay. Do I miss any slide? Okay, good. Any question about that?
How does CRA find out I renovate my house?
Just the same thing. If you have a big rental income next year, okay, it depends. Okay, so if you have a house, you have a big rental income next year. Like there's less rental income the first year, big rental income in the next year. So if the computer has a project to pick up the difference, you may be sent by a letter, okay, of CRA to ask you why. But I haven't seen this project. Okay, I don't work for CRA. Don't worry.
I have a client, but copy neighbor report to government. Government go and check. Make a lot of a hole on the wall.
Okay, final test planning for you guys. Okay, some of these were talked about it last year, but let's refresh your mind. So buy your RSP for sure. Okay, so you all have higher income, so maximize your RSP. That is the good thing that you should buy. Okay. And you should buy early so you can invest your money earlier. And the deadline for this year is March 1st, 2019, okay? Document your mileage log for 6 months. So a lot of you complain to me saying that I cannot prepare my logbook going from here to there. So it's waste a lot of time. Okay? So if your accounting is good, if you have a tax audit, your accountant may be able, like I can best get 60% for you. Okay? But if you are claiming 90%, the CRA auditor will not agree unless you have some documentation. And now they also relax a little bit here. You don't need to keep log for the whole year or even every year. So only in the first 6 months or any 6 months, keep 6 months to prove that you're 90%. Okay? Easy, right? If not, it's hard to claim 90%. Document the business purpose of expense. Okay? Like your insurance, your record deals, okay, your telephones, those are very obvious business expense. But some may be questionable. Say you bought an LV purse for your client. Is it for yourself or for your client? Who knows? Okay? So you have to document your business purpose. So you go to a restaurant, you have a big dinner. So this is for your client, Mr. Wong. You need to put down a meeting with Mr. Wong on that restaurant receipt. Okay, otherwise, CRA come to audit you, they will say you're not allowed for that expense. Okay.
You have limit for expense, like you put, like, say, you go to a restaurant, you go there and spend $10,000. CRA, you can accept this one, like
$10?
10,000.
10,000. Actually, tax ed or any CRA auditor, they don't have any limit to go around. Okay, as long as it's reasonable. Okay, and you have your business purpose, they will accept it. Okay, there's no ratio. Somebody may say, okay, maybe I spend 20% of my income for entertainment. Is it okay? I said, there's no rule here. Okay?
But if you're questioning, you have to get documents.
Yeah, you have to have all the receipt. Okay?
This receipt is for you or for your wife or for
Yeah, you have to document who you are eating with. Okay?
Here is maybe 99% nobody.
Okay. A lot of you are doing commission speed or any rebate to your client, so you have to document that. Okay, you better have receipt, you better have agreement, and those should be before the closing, day before the closing.
Date before the closing.
Yeah. How come I need to pay to you after closing?
Before the closing, we don't have commission yet. How we can...
No. Before closing, you agree to the client, to your customer, say, I want to speed maybe $20,000 to you.
So we need to write it down?
Yeah.
Right?
You have to have some agreement.
You have to document.
Yeah, you have to have some agreement with your client. I know a lot of you, you just have a mutual trust, right? So on after closing, you give a $20,000 check to your client, right? Yeah.
We have a sample of this agreement on our resource center and the website.
But when you encounter a CRA auditor will say, why do you need to pay the $20,000 to this Mr. Chen? Okay? They will say this is your gift. It's not a business expense. So you have to document, say, well, this is my agreement, not promise, agreement, a piece of paper, agreement that you need to pay to this Mr. Chen in order to have his business, to find a home or to sell his home, and then we'll get a $20,000 of rebate or kickback to him, okay?
So should the clients claim their commission rebate?
Yeah. Yeah. The client receiving that money, whether there is income or not, depend on his own situation. Most of them are not income. Okay? Most of them will be a reduction of their own costs.
So if own cost claim
So if you give like personal check, you have to do your client. Say for example,
when you
1,000.
profit, when you sell it.
You can claim this 1,000 like tax we paid to like a payment like for like income for you, like you pay 1,000. So for example, rebate 1,000 just for him like you get. But you have to put this check before the closing, like say for example the closing is 30th of March. You have to give him this check on 29th of...
Well, the check doesn't matter what day, but your agreement has to be before. Okay, and if you have anybody working for you, you want to split income, you want to, you need to prepare T4 and T4A to them. Some of you here, maybe my client, I always say, even you have your wife or your assistants, you cannot just split it on the tax return time. You have to prepare a T4 for her, okay? And don't be too aggressive. This one I can give you a rule of thumb. I think if you are earning, say, $200,000 gross, and give you a let only $40,000, I think it's too aggressive. Okay, you deduct $160,000 of expense. That is very aggressive. Okay. So don't deduct too much expense. It has to be reasonable. Make use of rental loss. Actually, these days, because of the mortgage interest is too high, you may have rental loss. So if you have rental loss, you can deduct for your income. But the rental income also need to have some profit down years of the road. Okay, so if you have rental income rental loss for strictly 5 years, there may be a problem. Okay. Yeah, but if you are showing that your rental loss getting less and less, that is okay. Make donation, okay, yeah. So you're making good money, you should contribute back to the society. But the deadline is December 31st, so it's past the deadline for this year already. So, but you can prepare for 2019. Actually, do you think I missed one thing? Anybody can tell? Do you have another?
Yes.
I think I intentionally missed one thing. Anybody can tell me I miss what I miss? Nobody? Any guess? No? I missed an expense. Car is to a parent. Give it to a parent.
We didn't buy a house with the own commission.
If you buy your own house, yeah, you can deduct that own house commission. Okay. What I miss is home office.
But that's risky. Yeah?
That's expensive.
But I intentionally miss it because I don't want you to deduct it. Because you're not qualified. Most of the agent will deduct home office saying, oh, okay, I prepare offer, I work at home. But CRA's rule is there are only two kinds of person can deduct home office. One is if the home office is the primary place of working. Say, for example, an artist work at home. Okay? Number two is if the home office is the primary place for meeting client or entertaining client. Okay? You're not. So your office is here and also your car, right? So you better claim 90% of your car than claiming home office. So when the auditor come to audit you, the first thing they will disallow is your home office. No question about it. So if you want to deduct, you take your own risk, okay?
If the house is partly rented out,
Hmm?
if the basement is rented out, can I have a room as the office?
It's not your primary place of office.
Your prime workplace is your car and home home. You know what? Just like one comment. It does not worth your headache and the accounting fee for you claim your home office. It's just not worth it. As a matter of fact, if you continue to claim your home as your workplace as expense, you need to pay capital gain on when you sell your main residence.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's another risk over there about your people.
Not worth
It does not worth it.
The key word here is primary. Primary. Okay? Again, primary.
So that means don't claim the home as
No home office.
At your own risk.
Okay, no home office. Okay, who remember my Kenny Wan D rule? Every year I have this here. Anybody was here last year? Anybody remember my D rule? What's the first D? What's the second D?
Document.
Yeah, good guess. I'll give you a prize then. What's any example for DY? Income splitting, yeah, to your spouse, to your children, or How about this? Defer, buying your RSP, okay? And I should not say that. Ask your boss to delay paying you. Okay, but you should not do what?
Delete.
Yeah. And then, okay, we should have a prize for our boss. This is my last one. Okay, pass on. Yeah, you should not destroy your document. Okay. Somebody say, auditor come to audit me. Maybe I destroy everything, so the auditor cannot audit me anything. No. How about the last D? Hmm? You want a raise, so you have a problem. I'm better try. Okay. Thank you. Okay, I have one last one. How does okay. Okay, anybody ask a question, I'll give you a prize. Huh? Okay, I'll give it to you.
Oh no. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Kenny. Just for agent and the client, you should ask the accountant to report the tax. How many people report own tax by yourself? Go to online or go to post office, pick up the T1 general form, fill in by yourself. No? I did it myself in the first 5 years. I made lots of mistakes there. It doesn't worth it. Okay. Secondly, is that as a professional agent, you have to treat yourself as a professional. So how do you define yourself as a professional? Knowledge and what I'm trying to say is that how do you wisely divide your time, cost, and money. Okay, some people trying to save a few dollars from your home office. Some people try to save a few dollars from your car expense. So I would say don't save money on marketing effort. Every dollar you spend on advertisement, on marketing effort, on prospecting is 100% deductible, right? The tax, the real market this year is different than last year. It's different in 2017. But the one thing does not change is you got to learn basics and you got to learn new technique. Okay. Just like I mentioned that we do lots of new condo sales. Give your client sound advice. Be different with other agent. I mentioned at the very beginning. Like Jasmine come here today, you learn nothing because we finished the seminar already. There's a couple of very top agents. They do 100 deals every year. Okay, without mentioning names, they were busted by CRA. Those couple of agents already disappeared from the industry. Okay, the reason because you do 100 deals last year or 3 years ago. The tax, they can go back to 3 years. But if they find out that you are trying to fraud, to lie to CRA, they can go back to 7 years. Some countries, they can go forever. They can dig it down to 10 years from now on, backwards. So don't do that. It doesn't worth it. And I know that, I mentioned this, I hear this some so-called senior agent tell you that, you put your phone bill, you put your driver's license. If it's a rental property, it's a rental property. Don't try to change the use, hide the, it doesn't worth it, okay? When you close the deal with a lawyer, with that a condo or house, tell the lawyer that I'm going to rent the house out. I'm going to rent the condo tomorrow. Interim closing the rent out tomorrow. Do not try to change it. You change it, it's a painful thing coming in the future. And once again, it doesn't worth it. It does not worth your time. And one thing, Kenny mentioned that try not to disappear. Yes, I want to keep your document incomplete, organized, because we have agents. Very top agent. She is very talkative. So when she gets a letter from CRA for audit, she tells everyone in the office, I got an audit. When I heard the word, I say, first of all, do not try to be 那个叫什么祥林嫂. Nobody care like you got audit or not, right? Secondly, you should prepare a document every year. Now you need to spend a few days to prepare a document. What she did is, you go home, she put every invoice in a box, bring to the accountant. The accountant did nothing, just report. End of the day, you want to hire an accountant, $200 an hour to sort out your invoice, your receipt, your gas bill, your dinner with someone. It doesn't make sense. Okay, it does not make sense. So be organized, then you will be less fun, less penalty. Just like Fiat said, how about I eat a dinner with lots of people for $10,000? There's one top agent like this. You know who I mean, right?
Yeah.
Someone says, I don't know if it's true or not, claiming a 720,000, what do you call, entertainment fee, eatings, dinings with the client for the whole year. 72万, 720,000.
Wow.
So Siri nailed down, asked him to provide every single invoice receipt.
Oh.
It doesn't worth it. Okay. If you claim that I make a 2 million commission last year, I spent $1 million for marketing. That marketing means advertisement, online marketing, whatever. That's 100% deductible. Eating, buying, mobile,